Now, I'm not an expert on bird behaviour, but I have hand raised several wild birds and rehabilitated them back into the wild. Plus, I have my three rehomed rescue parrots that all came to me with behavioural problems. And I've spent countless hours in the field interacting with wild birds. Morty, you see how great I am with birds? I think of approaching birds as more of a art form than a science. And today I'm going to share with you a few of the techniques that I use in the field. If you're new to the channel, hello, I'm Sonia from Flying Parrot Photography. I'm an ex-commercial photographer turned wildlife and bird chaser, and I'm sharing everything I'm learning on my bird photography journey to help you shoot with creative confidence. I'm an opportunistic bird photographer. I like to wander around, although I do keep still for periods of time, either standing, seated, or lying down. But I don't use bird hides, blinds, or ghillie suits, and they are needed for certain types of birds. Now, keep in mind, these techniques do work, they just don't work all of the time. Some birds are happy to go about their business with you as a bystander, while others are extremely aware of your presence and will go into flight mode very quickly. Even within the same species, there's a big variation in tolerance. If you're new to bird photography, I'd recommend practicing in areas where birds are used to being around people, such as your local park or wetlands. One thing I've found helpful is to try and notice birds well in advance. Keep your eyes and ears focused on what's up ahead. It's ideal if you can see a bird in the distance, then carefully plan your approach so you can quietly get in the best position possible before raising the camera and potentially scaring off the bird. I try and be quite subtle and avoid staring at the bird or pointing the lens for too long. You might have noticed that you can often get a lot closer to a bird when you don't even see it. Because you're not paying attention to it, it's not seeing you as much of a threat. I do a lot of looking sideways, looking down, and facing in another direction, pretending I'm as disinterested as possible. It helps to put the bird at ease, showing that you're not focused on it like a potential predator would. So, what do you do if there's a bird that just flies up and it's right in front of you, and you know you don't have much time to prepare and you've got no time to plan and really check your background? Well, you've got two options at this stage. One is to just fire away and hope for the best, which is what I often do if it's if it's a bird I really want to get and I really don't want to miss the shot. Or the second option is you can try looking down and really just going as still as possible and even backing away a couple of steps. Sometimes I'll even turn around if the bird's really, really close and I know that as soon as I pick up the camera, I'm going to scare the bird off. I try turning around, retracing my steps by a couple of steps, just getting a little bit more distance between myself and the bird to hopefully put the bird at ease. So then I can have a little bit more time to check out my background and perhaps move one way or the other to make sure that I'm in the best position for a shot. Now, another thing I try and avoid doing is walking directly towards a bird. So if there's a bird straight in front of me like that, I will often, excuse me, sorry about that. So if there's a bird directly in front of me, what I'll do is I'll head around sideways. Instead of going straight towards the bird, I will try and edge around, maybe even circle around the bird a little bit, just to, again, help keep the bird at ease and not make it look like I'm directly trying to target the bird, which of course I am. You really want to practice the art of just complete nonchalance. There's a funny movie that was out about the art of nonchalance. I can't remember the name of it, but let me know in the comments if you've seen that film. Oh, and while I think of it, very exciting news. I've decided to run an online masterclass for those of you who might want a little bit more assistance with your bird photography. And this is going to be all about creating beautiful backgrounds. There's a link in the description if you'd like more information about that. I'm sure you've heard plenty of times about the importance of getting on eye level with your bird, which often means sitting or lying down. But this doesn't just give you an advantage on perspective, it also helps you to appear much smaller and less threatening. There's certain bird species I know I will not have success with when I'm on my feet, so I will either carry a small folding seat or plonk down on a tuft of grasses or the like and wait for the birds to hopefully edge closer. You can buy a lightweight folding stool like this for under $30. I also strap it around my waist so I can walk hands free. It's also really handy for those boggy areas where it's not possible to sit or lie down on the ground. But when it comes to small birds, I prefer to stay on my feet. Keeping quite still is key here, but remaining standing means you can keep pace as they move through the trees. They're usually occupied with looking for bugs and tend to naturally shift away from you. Provided you move a slow step at a time and limit movement otherwise, you can often follow along and wait for that fleeting opportunity to get a shot. Remember to keep your camera up near your face to speed up your reflex time, usually until your arms feel like lead and it's time to move to another subject. Learning to read bird body language helps to show you whether your bird is comfortable with your presence or if it's getting ready to move on and it's best if you back off a bit. Some signs your bird is comfortable are fluffed feathers, continuation of general birdie business such as feeding, preening, and interaction with other birds, and lack of eye contact. If your bird goes sleek and starts looking up and around and is trying to get a better view of you, you know it's getting a little concerned. That's the time to stay still and look away for a few seconds, or even slowly turn sideways so you're not facing the bird, reassuring it that you're not interested. This can sometimes stop a bird from taking flight and give you a little longer to get a shot. Once they pull their feathers in tight against the body and do a little poo, they're about to take off, so get ready for that bird in flight shot. Could you pick what I was doing wrong in this video clip? It's my clothing. Dark colours all over can make you look like a big dark blob and put your bird on edge. Stick with neutral colours instead. There's a reason serious birders wear camo. It really does make a difference. Just a quick word about using calling apps. Although I like to memorise calls at home, I find devices distracting in the field. I'm going there to get away from all of that, so it's not something I'm interested in. I really enjoy learning bird calls, but I try and rely on my memory. It's my version of doing crossword puzzles for my brain health. I don't think it's necessary to try and hide from birds unless you're using a proper bird hide. Birds are tuned into the environment, and I'm pretty sure most of the time they see us before we see them. But keeping a small and low profile helps. Move slowly and deliberately, and avoid sudden movement and prolonged eye contact. Follow a predictable path if on the move, and keep a calm demeanour. If I'm a little stressed, I'll do a few deep breaths for energy regulation to get myself into a more relaxed vibe before I head out. Birds can pick up on your energy, and if you're relaxed, they're more likely to be as well. I've read animal communicators use visualization to communicate, so I try a bit of that too. I mentally send images or feelings. I have no idea if it works or not, but it's worth a try. There are days where I feel a little bit like Snow White calling in the birds. I'd like to have more of those days, so I'll keep doing it. Happy birding and talk to you soon.